Right, so I bought 4 of these off eBay, and the idea behind them is that I can expand the water capacity of my boat without having an awkward shaped steel tank, a stainless steel tank. Boats don't like things that are square. They like stuff that's all sorts of shapes. So these are kind of perfect for a boat, for a small space, because they'll go in places that other things won't. And for all 4 of them, they only cost me 400 quid. So they were £100 each, and they're 200 litres in size. So the one that I've got is this one here. So I've got 4 of these. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but it kind of doesn't matter to me that much. But this one is 185 centimetres long by 75 centimetres wide. Now, the other 3 that I had delivered are actually 175 by 700. But for some reason, this one, although it's identical in every other way, is just that little bit longer. But what I've decided to do is, because I'm kind of venturing into the unknown here, I don't know how well this product's going to stand the test of time. I don't know whether they easily just pop and explode or what. So I was thinking, I'm only going to install 3 of them, and if I install 3 of them, then I've got this one spare. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So the first thing I think I'll comment on here are on the fittings. So you get this sort of hose pipe sized fitting, and then you get this 38mm pipe, angle pipe. So basically this one is supposed to be for water going into it, and this one is for water going out of it. The good news is that you can swap them round. They're identical size fittings on the bag, but for my purposes this isn't a good arrangement. So what I've had to consider is how can I tell if the tanks are full? How can I tell when the tanks are full without them exploding? And also how, because I've got to link up 3 tanks, that would mean water would come in through this one, it would go out of this one to another bag, but then I need a fitting that's going to, you know, allow me to put those 2 together, which is really awkward. So I'd rather stick with just 1 pipe size. So I chose this size, and there is actually a supplier, although you may have to wait 5 or 6 weeks, who does actually sell these exact fittings, and I have bought 4, which was just 1 pack of these 38mm fittings that are actually supposed to be part of the Plastimo semi-rotary hand pump, a water pump basically. And there's 2 like that, and then there's 2 that are still 38mm, but they're just a straight fitting, so they don't go off at a 90 degree. So with those 4 fittings, I can then put them on all 3 bags basically, with the ones that are included with the other 3. And then I can just have this 38mm size, which if I'm filling up into a 38mm, then I can just put a hose pipe in there, and then there's plenty of air around it, so when the bags are full, the water will just come up through the inlet, and then that also means that they will be able to breathe. I can tell when they're full, and basically they won't explode and cause a tidal wave in the boat, which is the one thing we don't want to happen. So this is the actual water tank, flexible water tank. So I'm just going to unravel that as best I can in here. It's kind of small in here. Okay, so this one in the middle, this side's actually going to be facing down, so this is going to be the drainage point, and then on the other side, on the other side is this is inlet. So if you imagine we're going to have the outlet from the other bag here, and then it's just going to go straight into there, and then it's going to go this way and down into the next bag, and then when you get to the bag which is on the bottom, that's going to go straight to the water pump as normal. So a few features of this is really quite tough material, you know. It's like a canvas, you know, very much like a, I don't know, like a really tough sleeping bag, really, you know. And then it's just got this rubber, or I'm not sure what material that is in there, the bladder inside. So apparently these expand to about 24 centimeters when they're full. There's these securing straps that are not load bearing, but they'll hold it in place if it's got to go in a really difficult position. And then there's this strap here, which I wouldn't use for securing it to anything, because obviously the bag has got to expand, so if you put something through there, it might put a little bit of pressure onto the bag and cause it to burst. But other than that, it's not really a lot to show you, but it's very simple how you put these fittings on. So you just put that through there. Put that through there, like so, and just screw it on. Very simple. And then that can face in a number of directions. So I'm going to just show you where these are going. Okay, so this is basically like a room that's at the front of the boat, and a lot of people usually put like a bedroom in here, but we've been using it for art supplies and stuff. I don't know how much you can see, but there's the back wall, and basically they're going to go across here, across the front. There's not really a lot that you can see in here, to be honest, but it's just like a storeroom, really, you know, at the very front of the boat. Now the idea is that we'll have the three flexible water tanks on top of each other. So there's three of them, so that means we're going for a 600 litre system. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to build 4 ladders, and 2 of them will be like this, 2 of them will be like that. So the idea is, where you see these lines here that are off at angles, they're pieces of ply or possibly just pieces of batten, not sure yet. Might do it like a sort of slatted shelving thing so that it can breathe better, but I'll decide on that closer to the time of what materials I'm going to use. but basically these pieces of ply will go off at an angle because the actual space that I've got in the room that I've just shown you is 150 centimeters, so 1.5 meters. So it's quite tight. Now these bags are 175, the 3 that I'm using 1.75. So I've got to be able to get them to fit in, so they've got to go in on these little slopes. And it's not only just to accommodate the size, but it also helps with the drainage, because the drainage is underneath on the other side. So that'll be smack bang in the middle there, and as the water comes in here, it'll go out there, and then it'll go in here, and it'll go down there, and then it'll go in here and go down there, and then it'll go to the pump. Yeah. So the ladders that I'm putting in have it'll have this will all be 4x2, and the first one will be set off at this 125 centimeter position. The way that I've calculated that is I took 175 and then subtracted 150 from it, and it gives you 24, 25, and if you halve that, then that's 125 mil either side. So I just halve the difference basically, and then that's what's giving me the angle. So the first one is 125 mil. Then to accommodate the dip, the corresponding one on the second 2 ladders in the middle ladders will be 50 mil. So I'll probably just put a piece of batten there, and then so on. So basically there will be a 400 mil clearance in between each one, or as close as I can get, and that'll allow plenty of room and air for these bags to expand, so they won't get caught on anything or pop, hopefully. And so this 400 mil gap from there to there, and then on the corresponding middle ladder you'll have this slightly lower position, which will allow for nice drainage. So the idea is on this angle you get a nice flow drainage straight down the middle. Then to assemble this, which I'm probably going to do outside first because it's so dark and tight in there, I'm going to have to make a kit and then just assemble it. But at the front and the back I'm going to have this cross structure that will act as a kind of truss for all 4 ladders, which are going to be exactly 500 mil apart. And this will also be standing on some 4x2 here and here at the bottom, with a piece of ply at the bottom. So it'll all hopefully have enough structural rigidity there to take the weight. So yeah, that's the plan anyway.